Hello all, welcome back to Shaving with Peg Leg. I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for the new subscribers. Welcome to the shit show, guys. Yeah, that's what I call it. Anyways, the craziness that is my mind. Alright, today's head shave, which was supposed to be yesterday's head shave, but to be honest, guys, I had a ton of lead in my ass. I could not get motivated to do anything yesterday. I could barely get myself up to go to the bathroom. I was so freaking, I don't know what it was. I just had absolutely zero motivation. But I'm here tonight, so let's get into this and get her done. I'm using the Cremo cartridge. They're going for any, I don't know what the lowest price is now. Last I saw, they were between $17 and $20. These were selling for 17, I think $16.99 and $19.99 is the last price I saw on these. It's a pivoting head, but that's it. No side to side, really. That's just looseness of the cartridge head, I believe. I don't think that's meant to do anything. And of course, gotta use your Cremo to go with it. And for an aftershave, we're gonna put some monkey's ass on, or the donkey's ass. All right, hot in here again. Let's get the dome sprayed, and it's Cremo. It's super slick. I don't need a pre-shave for it. Plop. Looks like a bukkake party. Simpson T3 topographer for the brush, 30 millimeter. And let's get her gone. Get her lathered up, worked in, whatever you want to say. Get her done. Oh, so how's it been going, guys? Everybody doing good? Everybody getting the shaves in they want to get in? I hope so. Oh. See if we can add some more water and get this burst up a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe that's the best we're gonna get, huh? Alright, let's see what we got here. First pass with the green. Oops. Bear with some noise for a second, guys. I forgot to fill my rinse jug. My bucket. That should be enough. Blades in there for a second, warm them up. Alright, back to front is with the grain. Always, no matter whose head, hair on top of your head grows from the back towards the front. Hair on the side of your head grows from the top down. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? I was going to try this one around my ears, see what happened. So I can get that nice up close feeling. Yes, that one works fine as an edger trimmer. For me, it does. And in the back, it's also from the top of the head to the neck is with the green. So, October 6th. 1893. Anybody know what happened on that day? Lots of things happened, actually. Give up. Cream of wheat was introduced to the public. I know that's a little odd for me to come up with, but cream of wheat was introduced to the public. You know, my mind's a sieve. I can never remember any of this shit, so I always have to read it. Cream of wheat is similar to grits, except for you're using the middling of the wheat, which isn't used for making flour. And it's a high protein rich part of the wheat, and of the wheat berry, and they grind it and use it to make cream of wheat. And it is similar to grits, where they take cornmeal and they grind it, but wheat grinds better than corn does, and it grinds finer, so it's smoother than grits, but it's the same principle. And cream of wheat was introduced in Grand Forks, North Dakota, by, hang on, I'm looking for it, the Diamond Milling Company, until 1897, and then it was sold to somebody else. But there was a panic, a stock market panic in 1893, and Diamond Milling Company was faced with low prices on flour with the stock market crashing. There was very low prices on flour, and they were a flour grinding mill, and there was also a reduced demand for flour because the prices were actually going up. But their Scottish-born chief miller, Tom Amidon, A-M-I-D-O-N, proposed that the company package a breakfast porridge that his wife would make from the wheat middlings, the protein-rich wheat berries. And after not being interested in a while, the owners of Diamond Milling, Emery Mapes, George Bull, and George Clifford, eventually agreed to test the product. So they sent 10 cases, and the cases were made by Tom Amidon, the miller. He made the cases, and he wrote another employee came up with the name Cream of Wheat. They don't mention the name of the employee that came up with the name Cream of Wheat, but he hand wrote Cream of Wheat on each box, and he also hand wrote on the crates and sent it with a flour shipment to the distributors in New York City. So it gets there, and they let's see. Lamont Corliss and Company, their brokers, distribute it to the grocery stores. You know, the old mom and pop, you walk in with your list and you tell the guy what you want and they take it off the shelf. That was before Piggly Wiggly came along, as we discussed earlier. And that later that afternoon, after they got the cases and distributed them, they sent a telegram back to Diamond Milling saying, hey, send us 50 more cases of that stuff. It's selling like hotcakes. And then that night, they sent another telegram to Grand Forks, North Dakota, saying, forget the flour, next flour shipment. We don't want any flour. Send us train car loads of cream of wheat instead. And boom. Instant popularity of a breakfast staple in America for years. It was cheap. It was easy to fix. And this is back in a time when people didn't do breakfast. They really didn't. I mean, breakfast was usually something that was still in the pot, hanging near the fire to keep warm from the night before. I mean, that's usually what breakfast was. They opened a plant in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1897, excuse me, and changed the name of the company to the Cream of Wheat Company. And then 6 years later, they outgrew the Minneapolis plant and moved to a location, it says in the city. Okay, they outgrew the first location in Minneapolis, opened the second in Minneapolis. Okay, that's what it was. Sorry. I was misreading my shit. They never mentioned sales numbers or anything about any of that. But if you do a little bit of research, breakfast was not important back then. Hell, in the Middle Ages, breakfast was considered a poor man's meal. Royalty ate their big noon meal, mid-afternoon meal, and then they ate a dinner. But they did not eat a breakfast. Breakfast was considered for the poor, for the laborers, for the serfs who actually went out and did physical labor. They needed the energy to do physical labor, so it was considered a poor man's meal. Not everybody's done breakfast through time. The Romans did. The Egyptians did somewhat. Across the grain. A lot of cultures did do breakfast. But the Egyptians did, most of their breakfast was cheese, bread, and a lightly alcoholic beer, a light beer. That was their breakfast. So all you beer drinkers out there, you were born in the wrong time period, baby. You needed to be born back then, in ancient days. And you needed to be born Egyptian. The Romans added eggs to their breakfast. They did bread, cheese, egg, and a light wine, watered down wine for breakfast. But yeah, cream of wheat became instant success because it was quick, it was easy. Hang on, let me see something. It only took 10 minutes to cook. And then in 1939, they came out with enriched cream of wheat, which took 2.5 minutes to cook. And then in 58, they came out with instant cream of wheat, which could cook in 30 seconds. And in 1961, cream of wheat was acquired by the National Biscuit Company. Do you know who that is? National Biscuit. Think about it. And they were bought for $30 million in 1961. National Biscuit Company. Who does that sound like? If you said Nabisco, you are correct. Then Nabisco sold them to Philip Morris Corporation. You know, cigarettes, Philip Morris. And Philip Morris acquired Nabisco Cream of Wheat, and in 2000, Philip Morris merged with Kraft Foods, and it became part of the Kraft brand. And then in 2007, Cream of Wheat was acquired from Kraft by B&G Foods for approximately $200 million. So apparently, Cream of Wheat still sells. From the late 1890s, Cream of Wheat. Back in a time when a lot of people really didn't eat what we consider breakfast foods. They a slice of bread or a hunk of bread, a hunk of cheese, and they drink some watered down beer or wine, basically. That was breakfast. Or coffee if they could afford it. You gotta remember, back then, beer was cheaper than coffee. Against the grain, front to back. But yeah, they were like, okay, whatever. This guy's hounding us to try this product. We're hurting on sales right now because the economy's down. Price of flour's through the roof. Nobody's buying flour. The price of flour is so high. We're losing money here. Let's give it a try. What do we got to lose? So it's like they told him, go make some boxes. And he painted them up. Somebody came up with a name. He painted it. He hand wrote it on the boxes that it was stored in, the Cream of Wheat was actually put into. And then they put it on a rail car and sent it there was no charge for it the first time. They just sent it along with the regular shipment of flour. Got to New York City. Their brokers put it out on the shelves at the grocery stores. And later that afternoon, the same afternoon, they were wanting 50 more cases. And then by that evening, they were telegraphing again, saying, send us train carloads of the stuff. Forget about the flour. We don't want the flour anymore. Send us this. It was easy to fix. It was nutritious. It was filling. It was what laborers needed to start their day. It was porridge. Basically, that's all it was. An easy to fix porridge. My trouble spots. Like I said, my trouble spots, when I go back to do pickups, I press a little harder. Just trying, because as we all know, cartridge razors are negative exposure. Because you got these plastic end pieces here, and the blades sit under them, so that's negative exposure. I brought the alum block down. I always bring it down just in case, but I'm not going to need it. Okay. You can feel a little bit of roughness here, but after my skin relaxes after a little while, it'll go away, and I'll be cue ball. That razor actually shaves pretty well. Not as well as the Harry's. I put it on equivalent with the Dollar Shave Club razor. And I've got a couple other ones up there, or at least one other one. I think 2 other ones that I put equivalent or a little bit better than Dollar Shave Club, but not as good as Harry's. Yeah, I'm not gonna need Allen. I'll just go straight to the Witchy Hazel. Do you guys remember the cartoon Witch Hazel? The comic strip? Not cartoon, comic strip, excuse me. Okay. So monkey's ass. Oh, I like the smell of monkey's ass. And Johnson & Johnson baby lotion, always. For my dome. At least most of the time. And you don't need much. Good head shaves. I needed that since I didn't do shit yesterday. Oh, I couldn't do anything, guys. I was just like, I don't know what the hell it was. I just had absolutely no motivation to do anything. I didn't even really want to get out of bed in the morning. I was just blah. I guess it happens, right? Occasionally. Sometimes. So, alright, now guys. You know the story of Cremo wheat. Like I said, I just like the odd little stories. I mean, it's just... It came about because the country was on hard times, the stock market was falling, and the company needed to sell something, and their head miller, his wife, actually made that for him, for his food, his kids, whatever. Made that for them for breakfast, and he convinced them, hey, we can sell this. I like it, family likes it, we can sell it. And guess what? Boom, instant hit. And that's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? Alright guys, appreciate y'all being here. Thanks you. I will put a link to 4 channels, all of them under 1,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to any of those, please hit them up. Click the subscribe button for them. Trying to push as best I can. Just my little channel. Trying to help everybody push to 1,000 subscribers as best we can. And don't forget my affiliate link to the razor company. It's getting close. When it gets to $25, I will buy a $25 gift card and give it back to you guys, as I always do. Alright guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. It's very easy. And let's see if we can get to 20 likes on this one. Did 15 on one before. Let's see if we can get to 20 likes on this one. I appreciate it. Alright guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you all being here. You all have a good day. I will see you Saturday for the face shave. Okay? Take care, guys. Oh, we're done with the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there. Almost forgot.